Right now, AI agents running in the background are burning through your money faster than a subscription service you forgot about. And the math is so broken that most companies don't even know it. I'm going to show you exactly how this works, where your money is actually going, and why the business model of AI agents is fundamentally broken in ways that should terrify anyone actually deploying them at scale. Let's start with a real example. Imagine you're a mid-sized company, maybe 50 to 100 employees, and you decide to deploy an AI agent to automate customer support. Sounds smart, right? Cheaper than hiring people. But here's what actually happens behind the scenes. That AI agent is not sitting idle. It's not thinking once and then stopping. Every single time it processes a request, it's running inference on a large language model. That costs money. Every token it reads costs a fraction of a cent. Every token it generates costs more. And tokens add up fast. Let's do the math with a real model. OpenAI's GPT costs about 15 cents per thousand input tokens and 45 cents per thousand output tokens. Sounds cheap, right? It's not. Here's why. That customer support agent you deployed, it doesn't just read the customer's message. First, it reads the customer's message, maybe 100 tokens. Then it reads the conversation history, another 500 tokens. Then it reads the company's knowledge base, another 1,000 tokens. Then it reads its own system prompt and instructions, another 500 tokens. Then it generates a response, maybe 200 tokens. That's one customer interaction. Total tokens, roughly 2,300. At OpenAI's pricing, that's one interaction for about 34 cents. That doesn't sound bad. But your agent is running 24/7. It's handling customer requests constantly. Let's say you're getting 100 customer messages a day, which is not a lot for a company of 50 people. That's $34 a day. That's $1,000 a month, just for the tokens. But wait, that's only one agent. Most companies don't deploy one agent. They deploy multiple agents. One for customer support, one for internal documentation, one for sales qualification, one for content moderation. Now you're at $4,000 a month. But here's where it gets worse. That math assumes your agent is efficient. It's not. Most AI agents in production are doing something called agentic loops. The agent reads a request, thinks about it, makes a decision, executes an action, reads the result, thinks again, makes another decision. It might loop 5, 10, 20 times before arriving at an answer. Every loop is more tokens. Every token is more money. I've seen real deployments where a single customer interaction triggers 30 loops of an agent thinking and rereading context. That same 34-cent interaction, it's now $3.40. Suddenly, your 100 messages a day is $340 a day. That's $10,000 a month for a single agent. And most companies don't realize this until they get their bill. But the real problem goes deeper. Most companies aren't even measuring token usage properly. They don't have visibility into how many times their agent is looping. They don't know that their agent is rereading the entire knowledge base on every single request. They set up an agent, it works, they scale it, and 3 months later they look at their cloud bill and it's completely blown up. I talked to an engineer at a Series B startup who deployed an AI agent to handle internal documentation queries. They thought it would cost maybe $500 a month. They budgeted for it. 6 months later, it was costing them $15,000 a month. The agent was looping excessively, requerying the vector database, rereading documents. They had to shut it down. Here's another hidden cost nobody talks about, the vector database. Most AI agents need to query a vector database to retrieve relevant context. That's another service. That's another bill. That's another latency problem that often forces the agent to loop more times to get better results. More loops, more tokens, more money. Then there's the infrastructure cost. You need somewhere to run the orchestration layer. You need somewhere to store the agent's memory. You need somewhere to log all the interactions so you can debug when things go wrong. That's compute. That's storage. That's bandwidth. That's another $1,000, $2,000 a month, depending on scale. So let's do a real budget for a small company deploying 2 AI agents in production. Token costs for Agent 1, $3,000 a month. Token costs for Agent 2, $2,000 a month. Vector database and retrieval infrastructure, $1,000 a month. Compute and orchestration, $1,500 a month. Monitoring, logging, debugging, $500 a month. That's $8,000 a month for a company of 50 people. Now, is that worth it? Maybe. If those agents are replacing 2 full-time customer support reps, you're saving maybe $8,000 a month in salaries. You break even, but you don't get any actual savings, and you've introduced massive technical debt and operational complexity. But here's the thing. Most companies aren't deploying these agents efficiently enough to replace a full-time employee. They're deploying them to handle maybe 30% of requests. They're replacing a third of a person. So they're spending $8,000 a month to save maybe $2,000 in salary costs. They're losing money. And this is the fundamental business model problem with AI agents right now. The token economics don't work for most use cases. They work if you're doing something extremely high volume and extremely efficient. But for most real business problems, it's still cheaper to hire a person or use a simpler automation tool. Nobody wants to hear that. The hype is real. Everyone wants AI agents. But the math doesn't work yet. So what can you actually do if you're thinking about deploying an agent? First, measure everything. Know exactly how many tokens your agent is using. Know how many loops it's taking. If it's looping more than 3 or 4 times, something is broken. Second, use smaller models when you can. GPT-4 is powerful but expensive. GPT 3.5 or Claude smaller models are cheaper and often good enough. Test before you scale. Third, cache aggressively. If your agent is rereading the same documents over and over, cache them. Some APIs now support prompt caching, which can reduce your token costs by 50% or more. Fourth, be honest about what the agent is actually replacing. If it's not replacing a full-time person or a significant amount of expensive manual work, the math probably doesn't work. And finally, consider whether you actually need an agent. Sometimes a simple API call, a rule-based system, or a human in the loop is cheaper and more reliable. The AI agent hype is real, but the economics are brutal. And until the models get cheaper or the efficiency gets dramatically better, most companies deploying them right now are slowly burning money without realizing it. If you want to understand the real costs of AI before you get burned, subscribe. I break down the actual math behind these technologies before the hype gets to you.